欢迎来到王定宇在308高地，每个礼拜四的晚上7点半，我们开始直播哈。那更新我们的集数，在308高地，我们以台湾为中心，关心着不管是地缘政治、区域安全、军事外交种种的议题。那我们会邀请到很多的专家来到这里，跟我们一起分享他们的看法哈。希望在308高地，我们一起关心着我们热爱的国家台湾。好，我们今天又来到308高地了哈。Today is English lesson. Our two good friends. 我们今天很高兴呢 ，We have two good friends. Always them. Tony Hu, former Pentagon official in charge of China and Taiwan affairs, and former general manager of Raytheon Taiwan. Tony, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Hello.
Well, I hope my English won't limit your imagination and your expression. And and another one is Uncle Topher. Uncle Topher, please stand up a little.
Oh, okay.
我为什么要请他站起来哈？Uncle Topher 今天 dress very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Dress suit. Look at him. Uncle Topher looks just like an officer in White House.
Maybe someday.
You got flush in your face. 他脸红了。The Uncle Topher dressed very nice,
yes.
Very professional suit, and he used to serve in U.S. Army and participate in Iraq War. Mm-hmm. And you are engineer, right?
Yeah, I was a combat engineer.
Combat
officer.
engineer， 我们讲的兵工，工兵。Combat engineer, 工兵 in Mandarin.
Yeah.
And it's my honor and my pleasure to have you two here. We talk about our, talk about Taiwan, the place you live. And I regard you two as part of Taiwan.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
So today we are going to talk about Hanguang military exercise. Hanguang is Taiwan, the largest comprehensive military drills. And it takes place annually. Every year we have Hanguang exercise. But this year is quite unique and very new scenario we have this year. This year we have, like before, live fire exercise.
Right.
It's not new. But this year we have urban and rural defense. 城乡作战 urban and rural defense. It's very first time. Because in the past, we have some political, we don't do military exercise inside of Taiwan. In the past, the typical Hanguang military exercise, when the scenario reached the beachhead, finished. So we realized somehow PLA may step on our turf. We need our village and city defense project and military exercise. But in the past, we don't have this kind of scenario for military exercise. But this year, if you pay attention on our Hanguang 41, our MP, our military police using MRT just on the ground of Taipei City.
Yeah.
It's new experience, new scenario. And besides those new scenarios, I think there is one unique thing happened in this year's annual Hanguang military exercise. It's the length of the military exercise. In the past, always 5 days. It's 5 days Hanguang military exercise. But this year, we start from the scenario 1, gray zone conflict. China using gray zone conflict, the gray zone coercion, causing some trouble, maybe quarantine, maybe blockade. That's day 1. Then that's 10 days. 10 days, 9 nights is the very first time for Taiwan comprehensive live fire military exercise. It's new. So my first question is, what's the difference? 5 days, 1 day, 3 days, and 10 days. If you are capable to deal with all kinds of challenging situations, couple hours you can solve everything. So some people say, why it takes 10 days? But I have to say the effect is so good, the outcome is good. All those reservists mobilized by Hanguang military exercise. There are more than 22,000
Right.
reservists participate in this military exercise. I read the post that they posted on Thread or Facebook. They say, it's damn exhausting. It's 10 days, but more than 10 days. Their recall education is 14 days. Shooting hundreds bullets, live fires, and they experience the most exhausting scenario they have ever been. Even they retire from volunteer position in military. Let's say even when they were in position, not like this.
Yeah.
10 days military exercise. So my first question is, what's the difference of the length? Maybe Tony first.
You know, it is a big difference. As you said, the previous Hanguang, it's always been 5 days, 4 nights. The first time I came to Taiwan to observe Hanguang exercise as a U.S. observer, it was Hanguang 18 in 2002.
Oh,
So-
holy. Hanguang 18.
Hanguang 18.
I was primary school student.
Oh my God. So, and through the years, it stopped when I left the government at 2011. When I went to Raytheon, obviously, I can't join the U.S. observation team. But even at that time, because the Patriot unit get deployed during Hanguang, I still get to see a little bit of it. But the biggest difference is in a conflict, it's very seldom it's over in 5 days. It's always very long. And in U.S. exercises, usually when we surge, we do it 2 weeks. And if you look at the current Reform Pact, Return of Forces to Pacific or Resolute Forces Pacific, that exercise is from July 10th to August 8th.
Wow.
So because you really want to test
July
your ability-
10 to August 1st.
8.
August 8th.
August 8th. Yeah, almost a month.
Yeah,
So
almost a month,
you
yeah.
want to be able to sustain that high rate of operation to move forces. And if you look at the exercise in Australia, for example, the Talisman Sabre, same thing. It's weeks. So at that time, I just thought the most important exercise in Taiwan was too short. And because realistically, a comeback troop can hang on for 5 days with maybe 2 to 3 hours of sleep. Okay, but in a lengthy war, you need each person to be able to stay alert and stuff. You still have about 4 to 5 hours minimum to sustain for a 2 weeks period. If it's longer, they need longer. And Topher's been in combat, and he knows resources like tanks and airplanes don't get tired. Just add oil and they go.
Yeah.
It's the pilot, it's the tank driver, it's the logistic guy that moved the stuff for, it's the people who's cooking for the troops. They get tired. So management of human resources become a challenge because the young people, usually they get so psyched up. They want to participate. They don't want to rest. So as a leader, you literally have to order them, go get some rest. I need you to come back.
But if it's only 5 days, it's fine.
It's okay.
I don't sleep
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
days. When I was 20, 5 days don't
You
sleep.
can
It's
do that.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Topher has the actual experience going through the Ranger School of sleep deprivation and how
Yeah.
it affects decision.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. And it makes a big change in how you're able to analyze the situation, how fast you're able to react. Your body needs sleep. And, you know, up to a certain point, 5 days, you really can tough it out. I know a lot of people, soldiers especially, they want to show how, you know, tough they are. It's no problem. I can do this.
Yeah.
But once you get into, 7, 10 days, you have to have a sleep plan.
Have you ever participated in some military exercise longer than 2 weeks or 3 weeks? Do you have like experience?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can tell the difference between 20 days, 10 days,
Oh,
or a
yeah.
couple days.
Yeah, I would compare the old Hanguangs that were scripted exercises compared to what.
In the past.
Yeah.
In the past,
ones.
the blue team and red team. This second, you're supposed to be here.
Right.
It's scripted, but
Yeah.
now it's unscripted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was a major improvement. It was longer. It was unscripted. I was trying to think of an analogy, and I thought, okay, it's sort of like the difference between winning, like a baseball team or an athlete winning something in a regional tournament compared to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like it is a big
difference.
step, a big difference.
So, based on what you talk about, the 10 days length and the 5 days length, we have logistic challenging
Right.
situation, and management about human resources is sleeping plan, something like
Yep.
that. How to cook, how to logistic. We need to prepare all kind of food,
Yeah.
ammunition, fuel, things like that.
Even
And-
maintenance,
yeah.
repairing the vehicle
and
that's broken.
scenario settings. 10 days length and 5 days length. The scenario setting, of course, is different,
Yeah.
and we need to go into some details. And what I want to ask is, 10 days length and the 5 days length between commander, or we call leaders, and the follower, maybe we call sergeant or soldiers.
Right.
Is there any difference?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The commander have to be responsible enough so that he knows he also needs the rest. So
yeah.
he's willing to step down and let the deputy take over. But that trust has to be built during peacetime. During normal time, you have to give your deputy the opportunity to make decisions. Otherwise, when they take over, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So even day to day, I often do this when I was in the military, and even when I was in Raytheon, when there's something happen and I know what I want to do, I'll ask my deputy, what would you do? And see if he sees all the angles and train him to make the decision. And when I was in the military, I do that day to day. I'll ask him, okay, this happened, what would you do? Because you have to give the person who's going to step in case, not only because you have to go to sleep, what if you're wounded?
You are ordered or required to train your deputy, or your nature, you want to help people to train them,
Well,
improve?
we're supposed to. As officer,
Yeah.
we always have to mentor
Okay.
Yeah.
our deputy.
So that's some kind of discipline, or some kind of
It's
plan.
a leadership training. We go through school.
Yeah, and it's life or death situations. So you have to ignore whatever pride you may have and understand that you're human, you need to get rest, you need to enable your junior officers and your NCOs, your sergeants, and empower them to make the right decisions.
Yeah.
It's called like decentralized command.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't train your deputy, or somebody can substitute you,
Oh yeah.
ROE will be useless.
It's useless. So Admiral May, the Chief of General Staff, actually
Yeah.
said that this time. Push the decision, the authority down.
Yeah.
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 That's what needs to be done, because you don't want everything to say, hey, Admiral, General, what should I do? You don't
Yeah.
have time for that during wartime.
No.
Yeah, since last year, our Chief General May,
Yeah,
Admiral
Admiral
May, he make a decision, rule of engagement, down to individual soldiers.
Yeah.
And the platoon commander or company commander, even squad commander, you need to know your ROE, and you need to train your deputy realize what's going on.
Sure.
Then 10 days length, somebody may be replaced. So it's a good trend. It's a good project,
Absolutely.
So I want to ask Topher, because you are in a real battle before.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Have you ever been in some kind of military conflict? The longest period of time, how long is that?
Longest deployment I was on in combat was essentially a year, a little over a year.
You stationed there in year?
Yeah, I was in the invasion of Iraq in 2003. So I went through the actual combat, going through up into Baghdad. I was in the Battle of Baghdad, and then my unit continued up north, and we ended up close to Syria.
So it's in hostile environment.
Oh yeah, but we
Continuously.
went from combat to rebuilding. So I saw that initial phase.
Oh, so the early stage for those young soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Excited.
Oh, I'll never forget it, yeah.
energetic, and I cannot sleep. I want to patrol. But when couple days later or couple weeks later, those kind of exhausted feelings come try to attack you.
Right, it becomes dangerous because they make mistakes.
Yeah, it becomes very dangerous.
We have to watch each other when we're out in the
when
field.
You're tired,
we actually watch each other. Yeah.
Well, if you're platoon leader, let's say, or a company commander, and you're getting a brief, and you're getting your new orders, and you're exhausted, maybe you didn't pay attention to what the new comm signals are. Maybe you didn't pay attention to which routes aren't safe and which ones are, right? And or even as far down as a driver, you might be an E2, just a private first class. You're a driver. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's easy for you to veer off the road.
People can die.
Yeah. So the 10 days military exercise compared with the 5 days military exercise before.
Right.
Difference.
It's not only double the length.
No.
It's not only double the length.
Different issues.
And we've really just talked about sleep. There's so much logistics, maintenance on vehicles, reloading your ammunition, how tired you get, how your eating plan, your chow plan.
Yeah, and 10 days, something may happen. You got flat tired. Your vehicle may be malfunction.
Yeah, broken down.
Broken down. 10 days then you are going to deal with a lot of challenging situation.
Yeah.
So this 10 days length from gray zone coercion to the last day, I think it's quite meaningful. And according to what I saw, sergeants, they experience this 10 days military exercise. They are tired, but they think they are doing something meaningful.
They're proud.
Well,
they are proud.
learned something.
They're proud.
That's the important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll even ask the audience, if you're watching and you were a soldier who was participating in this, if you learned something, let us know in the comments. Okay, I'm sure it was a good experience for you, and it was different than what you've done in the past.
如果你有参加这一次汉光41号，你是职业军人，或者你是 reservists， 你是后备军人，你可以在下面留话哈，就是说你参加这10天的教召或10天的汉光演习
What did you learn?
你学到什么，或你有什么感觉？又累又觉得光荣。when you feel exhausted, but you are so proud of it.
Because you pushed yourself to the limit and did right. So it's a pride thing. And I know all of us experienced that. I feel a sense of pride at the end of the exercise, and we were able to launch 230 missions, and even though airplanes broke, we still got up to 80% of launch rate or something. That's an achievement, and I think everyone who participated in this should be very proud, because this is the first time that actually, last year we tried to do it, but typhoon came, right? It cut short. But this one went through the entire 10 days, and from now on, if you get a chance to talk to the defense minister, it needs to be like this. He needs to be like this, because China is not going to be kind to you. China is not going to say, oh, time out, 5 days, everybody
some people
take a break.
say, typhoon is coming. How come you still doing this military exercise? I say, come on.
Real war.
Enemy, they don't give any mercy. They don't choose the perfect time for you. They always choose the worst time to attack you.
Exactly.
So our soldiers, our military, they do some rescue. I'm from the flood area, Tainan City. Soldiers, they still helping people to for rescue and recover something. And the military exercise keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
You have to.
Good.
It's real world. When I was deployed to Korea for Team Spirit in end of January, February time frame in Korea, it gets so cold, and the cold wind comes and snow comes. Exercise continue. I was deployed from the Philippines in 80 degrees to this 20 degrees below. I thought I was going to die, but we still have to do what we have to do. But that's real world. Because
that's a real situation.
North Korea, they will take advantage of the cold weather and try to attack. So you have to practice. China will take advantage. We don't know when, but you have to be ready.
Threat won't choose the perfect time for you.
No. You have to prepare for the worst. Okay, hope for the best.
Hope for the best.
But prepare for the worst.
That's a good word. Prepare for the worst won't come.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
And no problem. It will
If you
become,
don't do any preparation, any kind of situation will be the worst.
Yeah.
So how can they move forward? Now, the length is doubled, but the scenario, we have so many new plan, so many scenario this year. For example, we do our live fire exercise from diverse battle space,
Yep.
Yeah.
from beachhead to in-depth. In-depth using our terrains, using our geography advantage to defend our home. So I assume you must watch the TV or get some information. You see our army, our soldiers defend our city.
Yeah.
They are using containers as a block to change enemy's route, make them enter some trap, something like that.
Yep.
So what's your observation for our very first time, urban and rural defense? Because we a lot of international media using the MP, taking the MRT transportation, try to move from one station to the other station. So based on your expertise and what you observe this Hanguang 41, Taiwan, the very first time, urban and rural defense, how's the performance and any suggestion to our soldiers? Topher.
Well, I thought the performance was really impressive. If you told me it was your first time and I didn't know any better, I wouldn't have guessed it.
You are here first year, right?
This is my second year here.
Yeah. Before this year, we don't do any urban defense.
I mean, it was a perfect. Well, I mean, there's always room for improvement, but it was a really good situation of practicing from gray zone tactics to beachhead defense to go into what we call defense in depth.
Yeah.
Through the rural areas and then through the urban areas, the city areas, which is very different than a beach.
Yeah.
Very, very different. And how to use all their equipment properly, and especially practicing the new equipment that's arrived from the US, the HIMARS and the Abrams tanks. So I was very impressed. I think there's always new things that can be done. You can always add to the scenario. There are training centers in the U.S. that use civilian actors in training situations. That might be something that can be added into. You could add to scenarios like, what if there's a power outage? That might be kind of hard to do. But, and other ways that the civilian authorities can integrate into the scenario, which I also thought was really impressive.
Yeah, this time we have social resilience exercise.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later. But about this urban and city defense, I'm not expert, but even you just use your rifles.
Right.
In the beachhead and in urban and in city.
It's totally different.
Even you try to use your rifle, it's different situation.
Yeah, in an urban environment, United States Special Forces actually came to Taiwan to teach what we call military operation in urban terrain, MOUNT. Okay, this is a while back when I was still in AIT. We had, at that time it was obviously highly classified, but I was able to meet with them and look at the material they were teaching, which is tremendous because I lived through the Gulf War when I was in the Pentagon, and we had a hard time in towns like Fallujah chasing the Iraqis, the street fighting, the house to house. So the person who lives in the town knows the streets, and they can set up roadblocks and drive you to a kill zone. You don't know it's kill zone. Because you're searching room to room, house to house to find the bad guys, they already went to the next stop.
Yes.
Because they know where they need to be. They're waiting for you at the next stop while you're still searching room to room. Oh, they're not here, let's move forward. Oh, this road is blocked, let's go this way. They set you up again. And that becomes attrition of you. Well, the defender can hide. Every window is a shooting point. So in an urban terrain, you cannot bring your tanks because you cannot maneuver. You cannot bring your heavy stuff. So the long range stuff becomes ineffective. So to fight in a city is a totally different scenario. For Taiwan, it's the most dangerous scenario. That means PLA has set the feet on the ground and already enter, even though I don't think they'll get to that point. But you got to train to it just in case. So in this case, I see many of that. I've seen some of the stuff that, like using the MRT, because the enemy might not know the streets or the MRT as good as you. So some buildings have underground link to another building, right? So these are the things that a defender can utilize. They can get to the next spot and set things up and basically become a war of attrition. You just get shot at, The attacker just get treated, lose 10 guys, 20 guys each block. They lose a few people every block. So it's a very effective way for defender. In Fallujah, we lost a lot of Marines in urban warfare. And that was the lessons learned where we have a special organization developed how to counter urban, how to get into it. Obviously, we can't talk too much. The how-to is classified. But it is a defender has such advantage.
Yeah, it's the home field advantage.
Yeah, it's
home field advantage.
It's our home field. We know every cab, every transportation line.
Yeah.
So the invader, and that was the role that I was in Iraq.
Yeah.
We may have the maps or even satellite photos, but that doesn't mean that the streets are exactly the same as when you're actually in the
Or
operation.
inside the building.
So you,
Right, or inside.
when you walk on the street of Iraqi,
Oh yeah, because the
it's
Iraqis
dangerous.
could create a roadblock very quickly.
so when you were a soldier, you notice there is a blockade, a roadblock ahead. Should I make a detour?
Well,
Maybe I will enter a trap.
Is that what they want? Or if you spend the time,
If I go straight, maybe it's a trap.
both are a trap.
Or booby trap. They might have bombs inside there. As you try to remove it.
So what will you do when you are facing a roadblock over there?
Well, you have to go by every situation is a different one. So you have to be very flexible. So in mount operations, in urban operations, flexibility is key. Mobility is very important. And being able to set up a defense in the urban, it becomes very easy, actually.
It's kind of battle experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you experience this, then you can have your, maybe it's kind of hinge. You realize what's going on.
I'll never forget driving into Baghdad. Because you can practice, but then suddenly realizing that there could be a sniper in any one of these windows. Every window, every rooftop is a danger zone looking down on me.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was very nerve-wracking, very nervous.
Taiwan, this year, it's the first time we have this urban and city defense military exercise. I think it's very critical. To Taiwan, we need that.
Yeah.
And our soldiers need this kind of experience to be familiar with your hometown and how to use that terrain's advantage to defend your hometown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although I agree with Tony, what Tony said, it's quite difficult to let PLA step feet on our ground. But we need to
Just
do
in
our
case.
best preparation for the worst scenario.
For worst case,
In the beachhead, how to control the drone. It's quite different with in a city you control a drone.
Sure.
So it needs opportunity to allow our soldiers has a real battle experience like this.
Yep.
So anything we need to improve. You have this kind of experience before.
I wasn't able to actually observe any of the maneuvers or anything. I was just able to see what was on the news. The biggest improvement that stuck out in my head that I wanted to mention comes down to what we call PPE, personal protective equipment. I noticed a lot of the soldiers. Perfect, very important. You want to protect your eyes.
Something
your hands.
I want to add up one question about this. In Taiwan, because we love to study.
Right.
We love to watch TV. Okay. So a lot of glasses glasses wearing on our soldiers' face. Any suggestions about that? Because I think it's quite dangerous when you're doing some combat movement.
Well, you should.
Oh, you want
You
eye
need some
protection.
spatial. Yeah,
Maybe you can get the with the
they just
special
wear
lenses.
the normal glasses.
Even that's better than
Yeah,
nothing. though.
no more glasses, but you got goggles that fits over it.
Yeah,
Yeah, fits
and
over
you
it.
can make those special tactical goggles that have the
to
prescription
protect this
lenses.
part.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe
wear
next
glasses
year
and
we
wear
can
that.
improve
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's something that
We
you
have
can
so
look
many
into.
soldiers wearing normal
We
glasses.
do too. We do too. We have special goggles.
Waiting for
Yeah.
a picture of it. But the one thing that I didn't see was knee pads and elbow pads. And in an urban environment, I would highly recommend
Wear
that
this.
infantry soldiers have knee pads, elbow pads, because when you're receiving fire, you have to get down quickly.
Right away.
You don't want to break your kneecap when you're getting down on the concrete.
Yeah,
and you
you-
don't want to be worried about that and get down slowly so you catch a bullet.
So in States, that's your standard equipment?
It wasn't at first, but it quickly became standard equipment.
Okay, I will put this in
Yeah.
a note. I will
Yeah.
recommend our DOD to do
In
this.
fact, on my second deployment to Iraq, it wasn't yet part of the kit that was issued out automatically, but our commanders allowed the soldiers to
buy
purchase their own.
Hmm.
So that's something that Taiwan might be able to do as what we call a stopgap. That if the soldiers in their field training exercises want to bring their own knee pads and elbow pads and tactical gloves, I would let them do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do this homework and suggest our
Yeah.
minister. Maybe we can have some subside.
Oh, he's got elbow pads. That
Yeah.
last picture.
Some special force they have
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
maybe we can allow our soldiers to
yeah.
procure on their own,
Yeah,
and we pay for that.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very cheap solution that can prevent broken knees, broken
Yeah.
elbows.
When you're
Especially
outside
in the
with the
city
grass,
environment.
Especially
in
in
the
the
city.
city.
Glass.
Oh yeah,
this is-
because it's not going to look in a combat environment. The city
all those
doesn't
sharp
look.
things can
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
you.
There's glass everywhere. There's little bits of concrete and shrapnel
Yeah.
all over the place. So dropping down quickly, you can really injure yourself if
This
you're
is a
not
good
careful.
suggestion. Any suggestion to improve?
I'm not sure about ear protection either, but I would recommend if they're not already using it to have
Look at
some.
the scene. It's this scenario is to protect the entrance bridge from New Taipei City to Taipei City.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they are holding the bridge this side, try to deter enemy
Get that
that
choke
let
point.
them
Yeah, there you go.
enter our major entrance.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the makeshift barriers there that the soldiers
Yeah,
are behind.
Yeah.
And think, you're taking a knee on concrete. What if that? What if that's a
gonna
long
hurt.
battle?
Yeah. Yeah.
What if that's
You
lasting
just can't walk
overnight?
anymore.
Yeah.
So we need something to protect
Yeah.
You
soldiers'
just-
knee and elbow.
You just want your soldiers completely focused on the task. So any little thing that is distracting them, and if that's a hurt knee,
Gloves.
if that's a cut on their finger,
Yeah.
that's not going to cut it. If they're too sleepy, they're too hungry.
But
Yeah.
something that, a lot of times what you don't see is the most important part of the exercise, especially now when we talk about multi-domain warfare. So hopefully, within the scenario of the Hanguang, there are cyber defense and cyber offense. Okay, it's critical. You got to have that, and also you have to be trained to conduct long-range interdiction. The ships that's coming through from China to Taiwan, you want to interdict it, right? Joint interdiction, airplane, ships, land, launch together, and you also want to be able to do counter-strike, right? Counter-strike of the mainland places where they're gathering troops, gathering the follow-on forces, gathering the supplies to sustain the forces that's forward. You want to hit it so they cannot continue warfare, right? So these are the things that we don't see. Hopefully, it's exercise. Since I'm not an observer, I don't know if it's in the scenario. So, in addition, Taiwan needs to preserve its forces to conduct those interdictions and counterstrike. So one aspect of preservation, in addition to sheltering, is camouflage, concealment, and deception (CCD). This is an art in the U.S. military, the CCD, and we are trained on it. So Taiwan need to look at it like, for sure, when China come out, if their airplane get through and looking for targets, you need to have something like IR blankets that cover your car so they don't have
not a blanket. You need IR
proof so they don't see a heat
blanket,
source, right? Stuff that make a Patriot radar looks like just a bump on the dirt.
Some generators create so much heat.
You have to have something to be able to do that, to conceal it, and other things you have to deceive it, or decoys, right? Yeah. You have other radar emitters, make them think, oh, there's a radar there, okay? So they miss the real one. So that portion, since I'm not in anymore, so I don't know if Taiwan's, when I was observing, that was a weakness. Taiwan did not have a lot of the CCD stuff. Yes. And like I said, it's an art in the U.S. military. When we deploy, we have those kits. We have the nets, the covers and everything, just so that when you rest, you truly can rest. You don't get targeted when you're resting. You're hiding in the trees. You know, you try to preserve your forces, and an enemy sees you there, and you're not hiding, right?
So, according to your past experience, Taiwan, we don't have so much CCD.
I don't know now because
I don't know now either. Yeah. So I will figure out.
Look into it. Yeah, look into it. Yeah. See if because that's a very cheap way to preserve your force.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
You know, in Korea they have some kind of fake HIMARS. Looks like just a real one, but very cheap.
Oh yeah.
The deception portion is so cheap. Yeah. Even Ukraine has the blow up stuff.
Yeah, blow up from the air, and create some heat.
Yeah,
for that.
They put a little lamp in the engine portion and have it look like just like a system or gun system, and it's cheap.
I will look into this.
Decoy weapon systems are really, really cost effective. I mean, in my experience, we even had accidental ones, right? Because many anti-tank landmines are use a big rod, a tilt rod.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And we were clearing mines for the tanks when we were going in through Iraq, and we had to go up and oh, there's a tilt rod mine up there. Oh, go up, just a stick of rebar.
Yeah, it just looks like it.
But everyone was stopped. The entire convoy stopped because of a stick of rebar.
Yeah. Okay, so it's very useful.
It's very
useful. It can be very useful. Yeah, imagine how effective decoy landmines would be. I know Taiwan has the volcano system.
Yeah, that's what I just want to say. You know, when I forgot it's day 5 or day 6.
Right.
When China launched amphibious attack toward Taiwan.
Right.
In Taiwan, we can see our Navy, they deploy the sea mines. And we have volcano system. That means 10 minutes you can deploy 960 anti-tank mine within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the fleet, amphibious fleet from China toward Taiwan, it takes at least 5 hours.
Yeah.
That means I can deploy sea mine on the direction you are sailing to, and the beach we can deploy the anti-tank mine. Even I deploy the wrong side, I can change it very quick. 10 minutes. You take 5 hours for you sail from China to Taiwan, and only take 10 minutes. I can deploy 960 anti-tank landmine.
Right.
So we have volcano system like that. So if we have some decoy, some fake mine, then if you were a commander of PLA,
you have to worry about that. Yeah, you don't know.
You have to stop.
Yeah,
and then you stop. You
and
become
check.
a sitting duck for HIMARS or rocket.
Yeah, or helicopter with a hellfire.
Yeah.
Right. So absolutely. This for defender, those decoy stuff is so effective.
Yeah.
In delaying the enemies.
And especially decoy weapon systems like Patriot or Sky Swords, you know, these high value targets for China.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to want to kill as many Patriot and air defense systems as they possibly can. Well, if they're wasting missiles on aluminum boxes that have a generator, you know.
If they are using their missiles to attack our decoy, first waste their equipment and money.
Sure.
Second,
Exactly.
we can find out where is the launch pad.
Sure.
And we can launch our
Exactly.
counterattack. So
Yeah.
this CCD stuff,
It's very important
I
because
promise you, I will look into
you
it.
should look
I talk with our
because China is going to deploy UAVs to look for targets. UAV can tell.
Exactly.
Yeah, the guy over there in mainland China. Oh, okay, there is a Patriot.
There's a Patriot. There is a HIMARS.
Let's launch. You know.
And then
yeah.
when they launch, we can counterattack that.
Counterattack, you see what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can be made really well. You know, it can be used to even fool the fifth column.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right now, Ukraine is making really great artillery pieces using plastic tubes.
Yeah. They
You
shoot
know,
out fake smoke
yeah.
and everything.
Trust me, Taiwan, we are very good at manufacturing
sure.
toys.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. You can do this.
Taiwan
Just a
used
big
to
toy.
be the kingdom of toy manufacturer, better than semiconductor.
Yep.
So we are good at that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I need to figure out if our DoD has this kind
look
of
into
stuff.
that. Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes if even PLA, they realize you have this kind of CCD stuff.
That's okay.
They can do nothing because they need to figure out which one is
one's
real.
Yeah.
So it's
It
good.
still has the effect. You know, even if
Yeah.
they don't find it.
So I want to move forward
Okay.
about our topic. Those in Taiwan we have a joke. So we have so many English teacher here now. Not Topher. Topher is a real English teacher, but now he is a full-time YouTuber. No, for the past decades, I have to say, not so many young, muscled English teachers show up in Taiwan. But for the past 5 years,
A lot.
when you're on the high-speed rail, you can see a lot English teacher, very strong English teacher. Young,
Short hair.
Yeah, short hair, and young men and women come to Taiwan. And this Hanguang 41, my first question is, they don't want to conceal themselves. You know, in the past, Tony knows that. The first time I met Tony in some high mountain, long-range radar station, we cannot reveal those photos we have together.
Right.
We need to. It's classified. It's confidential.
Yeah.
But now this time, at least 400 foreign American instructors come to Taiwan. They are here, and they are willing to be seen. Why?
Yeah.
What's the situation? Maybe Tony can answer this question because he
think-
used to work in
Right.
AIT, right?
I think we no longer care what China thinks.
Yeah.
Before we were so careful.
Or this kind of clarity is kind of signal
Yeah,
conveyed
I
to
think
China.
So. I think so. It is a signal because as China becomes more aggressive, you have to increase your deterrence. And this is also a message. When I was coming here every year, we have about 50 observers. Okay, now it's 400. Not only because now it's 10 days, 24 hours. It wasn't that long before. And a lot of times we work about 12 hours, and at nighttime we know not much is going on. Observer go home, we go back to the hotel and rest, come back. And but now they have to cover that 24 hours too.
They were in field with our
Absolutely.
With our
Oh,
soldiers
absolutely.
in field.
Before we didn't do that. Before we will observe and we get treated very well, and
In the past, Tony is observer in 5-star hotel, but now
It
those
is
400 soldiers they are observer
out
in
there.
field.
They're out there in the field with the team, and we had guys on the ships, but stay on the ships too at that time. But now I'm sure they do also. But I'm so happy to see this, not only because they're observing, providing ideas, but they also gain an understanding of Taiwan's military.
Yeah.
That was one portion I was so worried about for our own troops, because we have joint exercise with Japan, Korea, Philippines, Thailand, Singapore. We work together, fight together, but we never do that with Taiwan. Every one of these guys are military active duty, right? Just in case one day they have to come to Taiwan, okay, and try to fight to defend Taiwan's democracy. They've been here.
Yeah.
They see the terrain.
They see the terrain. They have friends here. They have contact here,
Exactly.
and they know the skill and the strategy tactics here.
So it's a win-win. It helps Taiwan observe and look at what's good, what needs to be improved, and also it gives them knowledge that might become useful just in case China does something stupid. So I'm so happy to see it from the American side of the point of view, because that was what I always worry about. You bring an observation team. How many people been to Taiwan before? Me and one other guy, 2 guys out of 50 or something. So now you see all these people, and it's possible maybe 20 of them, 30 of them out of the 400 next time will have been here before, and the other people all get more knowledge about Taiwan. This will be good for the U.S. because the more we know about Taiwan, the more effective we will be. And these guys look like Major, Lieutenant Colonel age, the leadership positions. And obviously we have we might even have sergeants.
We have different branches.
Yeah, different branches.
Yeah.
And so this is really wonderful to see.
Yeah, and do you expect there will be more in the future?
I don't know. See, it's scenario dependent. Before we come, we already know what are the key observation scenarios. We don't know what exactly going to happen, but we need the right expert, because you cannot see the whole spectrum of scenario. I mean, we're going to bring a few thousand people, right? So you key on certain scenario that the Chief of General Staff wants to have observed, or something that United States is interested in seeing. So that's where you task out, because the observers come from all over the United States. The observer, because remember, U.S. military's job is defend the United States.
Yeah.
So unit have to be willing to spare a guy. The commander of that unit have to be willing to spare a guy to join the observation team to go to Taiwan. He has to make sure his primary mission is covered. So all of these guys are deployed from a unit where the commander say, okay, I can have this guy gone for 2 weeks, I can cover. Okay, so they'll come from all over. So if you want to cover this scenario, you go to this kind of unit, say, I need a guy who do this. I need a guy who do this, to all the different bases that does that. That's how you put together. So the observation team, we don't have a team that's ready to go. We have a team that we have to assemble. Then we do pre-deployment briefing. We're going to Taiwan, watching Hanguang exercise, and these are the things that I want you to pay attention to. Then we'll come to Taiwan. Yeah, so it's not an easy task, because especially 400. I mean, I can't imagine trying to put 400 people team
Maybe
together.
400 more. But I would like to ask Topher,
Right.
how difficult it could be to fight with, a stranger. Your allies, you don't know them, you don't realize their tactics, you don't realize the terrain situation, and we just deploy you and your unit to some country totally stranger to you.
Well, I have a lot of experience with that, actually.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of challenges. Obviously, there's the language barrier, right? But just as important, maybe even more important, is the cultural barrier that exists. And I think as much experience that you can have working alongside each other to try and understand each other and understand this is the mission, this is our goal. All right, maybe we're taking a different path to the same endpoint, but as long as we have good communication and we're trying not to step on each other's toes.
You need to communicate with them first and
Good
realize what are you talking about, and trust. Korea War.
Right.
United States, your division, your brigade, just give order. Let's move forward. And 2 days later, South Korea troops collapsed, and you don't know they collapsed so fast. Then you become isolated in front. That's Korea War experience, because you don't realize your allies' capability, how capable they are.
Yeah.
You just give orders, then you enter your position, certain position. You are there, but they won't. Then you are isolated.
And different allies can have completely different motivations. I don't think that's going to be a huge factor here in Taiwan. It was a big factor in Iraq. A lot of different ethnic groups.
Yeah.
None of them liked each other. You know, the Kurds had different goals compared to the Shiites, compared to the Yazidis.
Yeah.
So it became very confusing. I think it's going to be a lot more clear cut here in here in Taiwan. Any cooperation, but good communication is essential, and taking the time to try and understand each other's cultural the differences involved in doing business. You know, the U.S. military is much more direct. If you've screwed up, if you've made a mistake, maybe not in public, but your commander will pull you aside and say, hey, you need to do. I think from my experience in Taiwan, if you've made a mistake, that won't necessarily happen. They may tell a friend to tell you, so it takes a little bit. Round a butt, you'll save face in that respect. So those types of small challenges can be understood here.
Yes, you know, there are a lot of things meaningful happening right now. For example, 2 years ago, Taiwan started to send 2 battalions each year to United States to be trained by United States in Michigan or Hawaii. And we hire so many instructors, they just newly retired from United States military, come to Taiwan as instructors. And we have a lot of projects we call bilateral training program to train our even compulsory service soldiers, 1 year soldiers. They adopt this kind of training program. And last year we even have a brigade sent to United States to join a multilateral military exercise, increase the experience, fight with your allies, and enhance the communication system, and training our language, English capability. So those preparation is for a battle, fight with your allies. So that, I think that meets what Topher said.
After all, let's just be clear, there's one common enemy, right? For Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, and even Australia, now that China have circumnavigated and did a live fire at its front door. So it's pretty clear, China is the one. And if that's the case, no matter where China makes trouble, in the East Sea, in the Taiwan Strait, in South Sea, in the Philippine Sea, wherever, all the allies should come together and respond.
But even he is crazy enough to do this, we have backup plan to solve this kind of blockade.
You know, you're absolutely correct there. I'm sure that the U.S. has several different plans on what to do if China actually attempts a blockade. And it's a real stupid move on China's part, because it's a lose-lose for them.
It's a lose-lose.
Right? They either enter into a war that they're going to absolutely lose, a hot war, where their Navy will be destroyed within a week, or they have to break the blockade, let the U.S. break through the blockade, and they lose face.
And be embarrassed.
And be embarrassed, right, on the world stage.